Hi, Eileen. How are you today?
Hey, Steve, I'm pretty good.
Good, good. I'm so glad you agreed to join me. We're going to explore some social skills in today's society.
Ah,
And one of the things we're trying to do is hone in on appropriate greeting for people that are strangers and how they can maybe make a connection. Do you have any tips for our students how they can make a connection, especially here at Ventura College?
right. So the question was how you can make a connection socially? Is that what
Yeah,
it was?
because there's enough of us getting the academics and the structure and the study skills, but we're trying to get an emotional component. More importantly, a social network for students. We want to avoid isolation and things like that. Do you have any tips for students so they can connect and network?
Right. Well, so I'm an elder, I'm 70. And with my tribe, isolation is a big issue. So many, and I also teach fall prevention. So every single cycle that we have when we start the class and we introduce ourselves, every time a senior has fallen and been stuck, this last one was overnight, right? And some seniors are stuck, fallen on the ground for 8 hours. So isolation is a big deal with my demographics. And just generally, I mean, we want to reach out to people because connection is so important. And that's what we emphasize with my elder tribe also to help with this isolation. But we don't want to be, it's because it's like a balance, is it not? We,
Sure.
right? We want to reach out but not be kind of creepy.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So it's a soft skill in a way.
Oh,
Yeah.
a soft skill.
Yeah, I've just thrown that out because it used to be the term that they used in the jobs sector, where you could have all the great technical knowledge, but you also needed soft skills. That term has kind of gone by the wayside, but the idea is maybe some emotional intelligence of making that initial connection and at least knowing how to introduce yourself and then find some commonality with that, whether it's what you're studying or where you're from. So that's kind of what I was hoping, we could get through this project. I got
Mm.
a second question. How do we determine the difference between friendliness and more genuine friendship development? And that's kind of comes off of what you
Yes.
were just saying about not being too creepy.
Right? Oh, well, if I could just jump back to the first
Sure.
question, in what I do a lot of times if I'm walking side by side with a fellow student,
Yeah.
and this is academic, but we're in an academic area, is I ask them what they're studying,
Oh, great.
right? As an
Great suggestion.
icebreaker.
That's a great icebreaker.
Right. So any icebreakers well, I guess any icebreakers are not good because we have to use that emotional intelligence, right? And not be too invasive, but ask questions that are beyond yes no answers
Good.
that will be descriptive, right?
Right. And
Okay.
then also be respectful and all that good stuff in this day and age.
In
Yeah.
this day and age, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the second question was, would you repeat it?
Yeah, I'm basically getting into the distinction between friendliness. I use the example of a salesman sometimes is overly friendly, and a real friend, a genuine, authentic friend that could develop into something more. How do we know the difference?
Oh,
Is
right,
there any tips that you have for our students?
right. Well, the salesman, they'll always open especially phone, uh, their phone call with, "How are you today? How are you doing today?" And I am sort of grumpy, but
Inconceivable.
it it makes me irritable. It's like, dude, this is just a phone call, okay? So, um, but so the difference between, are you saying like a superficial friendship and then going into a
Yeah,
deeper
or maybe
friendship?
somebody that's going too fast. You talked about the creepy person that might be asking for your address and your phone number and right off the bat and your radar's kind of going up maybe. So we're
Right.
trying to be able to distinguish some telltale signs that this is something I should be cautious about.
As well, it should actually.
Yeah.
A guy in my building the other day was saying, "Oh, so and so lives on your floor, on the 7th floor," and I was saying, "Yeah," and he goes, "Oh, she's nice," and I was saying, "Oh, yeah, she just moved in or something," and he goes, "What number is she?" Right? So that's a red flag. So we need to be careful of that.
That's a great example.
I think they're called boundaries.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes there's a commissioned salesperson at the electronics store that's feeling a little bit too comfortable telling everything that's wonderful about me, and I'm not sure if that's genuine. That's another example that often comes through in my experience.
Right.
So,
So do we want to explore then about, well, I'll tell you something that I just did with one of the, Michelle from Career, she's like this great dynamic gal.
Michelle Scherer, yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
And so I said to her this morning, there's a herb walk. So I guess you Americans say herb walk in Ojai. Next Saturday, and would she like to go? So I emailed her the link, and maybe we'll go to that. So
That's fantastic,
right?
Because you've known her for a while.
I have known her for a while.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't like the first introduction.
Yeah.
But you've picked up on her interest to hiking and maybe organic herbs and things like that, or herbs.
Right.
You say tomato, I'll say tomato.
Tomato.
Yeah.
I say tomato.
Yes.
You say tomato.
Yes. We are getting ahead of our schedule.
Hey,
So,
yes, dear boy.
so what we should do at this point is call it a wrap, and now we're going to make our iMovie. But you gave us some great information. I got almost 7 minutes of your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take two, and we're rolling. How do you make friends, Randy?
You make friends by meeting new people and going out different places and introducing yourself.
How do you deepen that friendship?
You build trust with that new person.
What are your tips to meet a new person properly?
Maybe go up to them and tell them what's their name.
Alrighty. Examples of how loyal you are with friends.
To be loyal with your friends, you help them out when they need help.
That's good. When have you kept an agreement? You can do it, Randy.
Maybe I don't really know that one.
Okay, let's do another one. What are your tips to being a good friend?
Always be there for your friend.
Okay. Why are student clubs, support resources, and other informal organizations important?
Because you can meet new people and make new friends.
Alright, that's take two.